I'm here today with Diane Egby-Edwards, who is a sound healer. Now, I don't know what sound healing is at all, so who better to ask than Diane Egby-Edwards? Di, can you tell me what is sound healing?
Thank you for asking, Dave. Sound healing is an amazing process. It's a kind of alchemy, really. It works on the principle that everything that has matter has a vibration, and that means that every vibration has a frequency. So everything in matter has a vibrational frequency, a speed of vibration, in other words. Now, as a human being, we have millions of cells inside us, atoms, molecules, that's what we're made of. And every one of those parts of us has its own sound frequency. And it's been drawn to us by the power of resonance. Resonance is like attracting like. So something in our being has attracted all those parts of us to come and form our body. And all of those parts have their own frequencies. Now, as human beings, we have very limited hearing ability. But if we had perfect hearing, we would be able to hear all of those sound frequencies. And we would hear ourselves almost as though we were a concert in full performance. Every cell would be playing its part in our sound. And when we get sick, when we have a problem, a health problem, in whatever way, whether it's a mind problem or a physical problem or an emotional problem, it's because a part of that concert, one of the players in that orchestra, is not playing in harmony and sync with the other players.
So your job as a sound healer is to play the missing note?
My job as a sound healer is to provide enough sounds to encourage that, let's say, the lead violinist in the orchestra, to encourage that lead violinist back into harmony and resonance with the rest of the orchestra. And basically, that is what sound healing is. And it's working on an energy level and working with these frequencies and harmonics. Harmonics and sound intervals are very powerful. If I can describe harmonics as being, for instance, if you were to sound a Mrs. Middle C on the piano and listen very carefully, you will hear other strings in the piano playing on their own without being touched at all. And they're playing on their own because they resonate with the Mrs. Middle C, which is the only note that you've struck on the piano. And that is really harmony and resonance. And those other notes that you hear that haven't been played on the piano, but they are sounding nevertheless, those other notes are the harmonics that go with Mrs. Middle C. And that would happen with every note on the piano. And those harmonics are really what the whole universe is made of. Sweeping statement.
So is the theory that if we're ill, we're missing some particular frequency?
Absolutely. Well, not only missing that frequency, but it may be that we come back to the poor old lead violinist again. The lead violinist is actually giving a note that is dissonant. So not only is there a missing note, but there is perhaps a note or notes that really jar with the rest of the orchestra.
So what happens when somebody comes to you for healing? What happens? Do you make sounds? Do you sing? Do you play an instrument? What happens?
Yes. Yes
All
is the
those?
answer to that. I work very intuitively. I am a dowser, and I use dowsing in most of my work. Dowsing is an amazing way of channeling information that on some level I already know, and you as my patient already have all the information that I need to help you to get better.
Even though I don't know it, perhaps?
Even though you don't know it, and I don't know it either consciously. But by dowsing, I have access to that collective consciousness that does know. And the dowsing pendulum will tell me what is needed. So it may tell me that to use the tuning forks for you. It may tell me to use the quartz crystal bowls. It may tell me to use the Nepalese Tibetan bowls for you. It may tell me to use my voice for you to create overtones, which are harmonics, of course. And so there are many, many ways. I also drum. I use gongs. I also, my favourite instrument, play the didgeridoo. And so all of those beautiful sounds are available for balancing and healing.
This sounds a little bit off the wall. I mean, are we ever going to have a day when I go to my doctor and the doctor will say, I think you need half an hour with a didgeridoo?
I hope so. In fact, I think in decades to come, our visit to the hospital will be a most beautiful experience, because we shall go to the hospital, depending on what's wrong with us, we'll be shown to a room that has the relevant colours that we need to absorb into our energy system, and the relevant sounds that we need to absorb as well. Then there'll be no cutting or poisoning anymore. It will be a process of true healing. And there is no limit to what we can achieve on this energy level. And yes, I like wacky, I like a little bit out of the box, I have to say. I like things to be unusual and so on. But don't forget that what is unusual or wacky today is going to be mainstream tomorrow.
And the big question, does it work? Have you got folk who come to you who have sound healing, who walk out feeling better?
Absolutely. But there is no guarantee, because our illnesses are also our teachers. And every time we get sick, every time that lead violinist starts playing wrong notes, it's because there has to be a reason. And our understanding of that reason can take us in leaps in our understanding of how we are in our lives today. And so our illnesses are our teachers. And so it may be that we don't have a profound healing actually in therapy, but in fact, as we look back some years later after that therapy, we realise that we've moved on in leaps and bounds. Many people, of course, do have an instant transformation healing, and that's wonderful.
That sounds great. Now, can you tell me, do you have a website?
I do have a website, and I would love everybody to visit it. I'll spell it out for you. It's www.degby, that's DEGBY.wetpaint.com. So please visit my website, and I hope we meet one day, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Love and light. Bye-bye.